do Nefertiti, the Queen of Sheba, and Mary Magdalene have in common? How's the timing? The kookaburra decides to laugh then. What do they have in common? That's what I'm going to discuss in this video. And this video is particularly relevant to you if you are interested in the priestess path, you know that you have walked a priestess path, or you are really interested in Egypt and you feel a resonance with Egypt and you feel, you're aware that there have been incarnations of your soul in Egypt, and maybe the two go hand in hand. So welcome to this video. As you can see, I have a live audience here, or here I should say. My name's Jacqueline, and I'm really connecting in strongly with the Egyptian energy at the moment, even though I am obviously in the Australian bush. So I'm sitting out on my day bed, so unfortunately you just get to see the wall of my house, Rose Cottage, whereas I get to look out on the bush and beautiful subtropical rainforest. So that energy is surrounding us. It will be noisy because the birds are incredibly vocal here, and there's a bit of a breeze. My chimes have been blowing. So receive all of that in as part of this particular video, because it is important, because we will be referring to sound. So I'm going to have a little chat about these three amazing women, what they have in common, and also I'm going to take you on a little journey with them at the end, a little visualization, meditation with them. So I'm really excited to do this, and I was going to do it inside at my desk, and it was just so beautiful out here, and I thought I have to just go and sit outside and share the frequencies of these sounds with you. And of course, as soon as I pressed play, the kookaburra started laughing, and so their sound is important. So receive that into your energy body as well. Speaking of sound, because this is tied in with where we're going today, I'm actually going to give you a little bit of sound from my sistrum. So you can see Hathor is there, and this is very connected to the topic of our conversation today. So close your eyes for a moment and receive not only the bird life, but also the sounds of the sistrum. That's preparing you to walk through this portal that I'm about to take you on. And our destination is Dendera, or Dendera, depending on whether you want to put the emphasis on the Ra or on the D. So if you know the correct pronunciation, pop it in the comments. I hear both. This amazing temple, it was such a sacred experience for me to go to this temple in November last year. And I mentioned those three beings to you at the beginning: Mary Magdalene, the Queen of Sheba, Makeda, and also Queen Nefertiti. And what do they have in common? Well, one, they are all a part of the Rose line, and if you are a part of the journey I'm holding at the moment, the Wisdom from the Rose line, where I'm bringing through a different channel message every week from a different Rose line being, well, you would be familiar with them because a couple of them have already spoken as part of that. They are a part of the Rose line, but the reason I'm creating this video and I want to bring in this connection for you is that they are also connected to the amazing temple of Hathor at Dendera. Now, this is not necessarily something that you will find in a book on Dendera. Here is a wonderful book that I got at the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, on Dendera. So if you're looking for a fabulous book that shows the incredible interiors, that's a great book. But you won't find what I'm about to talk about in that book or in any other book, and possibly not even online, because this isn't fact, what I'm talking about. This is my feeling. This is what I download. And it's always a little bit hard when you work the way I do, where I do a lot of reading and I get a general sense of different people's experiences of something that is historical. But then what I often receive when I receive my information through my channelings, or simply through when I'm sitting or walking and contemplating, is sometimes outside of that. Now, what I have learned over the years is that nothing is right and wrong, that everything is layered, everything has a different frequency, and what it is more about are the codes of what is being spoken than the fact of the words. Now, obviously, this is not the case in all of life, but I think we're going to find that this is the case more and more for what we have called history. And so something that I received is that these three beings do have a connection to Dendera, and especially to the priestess path. Now, I first became interested in Dendera and Hathor 25 years or so ago, when I really, at the time when I was really stepping onto my remembering of the Magdalene and the Magdalene path. And I've always loved Egypt, and I actually created a video when I returned from my Egypt trip in November, where I went through my highlights. So I'll link that if you're interested in that. I've always loved it. I went in about 94 when I was 20 something, and loved it because I loved the Egyptian ancient history. But I didn't have another awareness at that time. And so I returned last year, and the one place I really wanted to go, because it had been speaking to me for these 25 odd years, was Dendera. And I didn't even know why, really. I mean, I knew it was an amazing, as this book calls it, a temple of time, and that it had, the astrology was everywhere, that it was a temple of Hathor, the great goddess, and that is the foundation of my work with the rose line, is that frequency. So of course there was that side, but there was just such an ancient calling. And I felt like I had walked a priestess path there as a priestess of sacred sound. And that's, at the time I was a sound healer using my voice. And so that was the resonance I had with Dendera then. And so it's always been there for me. One day I'll go back to Egypt and I will go to this temple. So when I finally had the opportunity to go in November, this Dendera was like, which was about the middle of our trip, and it was like, that's it, that's the place I really want to go. Now, everywhere else was amazing, but that was the one. That was like the real homecoming, I felt, for me. And that's where my priestess lineage would really come alive. That was my sense of that. And when I went there, it's hard. When you go there and you're in a group, especially a group of 60 plus people, and you're hearing the stories, which are amazing, and the meaning of what is on the walls and everything, you're taking it all in, but you don't really get an opportunity to sit and be with the temple. I didn't in that situation. I would have loved to have had at least a day there, just on my own, just sitting there. But I didn't. However, still being there and being in that energy was just phenomenal. And I think the icing on the cake for me was when I walked out and I saw roses outside, and they were the first roses I'd seen in Egypt. And I was like, Dendera, the rose of the Nile. Like, it just was so strong for me. And I went, this is where the rose line is really anchored into Egypt. This is the heart. This is how it felt to me. So when I returned home, I already knew that at some point I wanted to offer some sort of journey, online journey, that took people to Dendera who knew that they had walked the priestess path there, who had a resonance with Hathor and the frequency of Hathor, and were ready to remember. So I put this out to the Rose Line. I was like, okay, who's going to guide this journey? And 3 beings came forward, and they're the 3 I named before. And there was Nefertiti, and then Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, and then Mary Magdalene. Now, I was also interested because I thought there might have been another, and the other one is Cleopatra, who was also part of the Rose Line. I call her one of the rebels of the Rose Line. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt, and most of the current Temple of Dendera was built during her reign. Her father, Ptolemy VII, actually started the building, and then the main part was built during her reign, and then the incredible hypostyle hall at the entry was actually completed or built after she died. And that was when Egypt was a part of the Roman Empire by this stage, and Tiberius was the Roman emperor who basically that was completed under his rule. And so I thought Cleopatra might have stepped forward, but she was like, no, that was her role. Her role was as overseer of this construction of this temple. But it was the 3 others who'd actually walked the path. Now, I think that Cleopatra also would have studied there under the priestesses. But anyway, for the purpose of this journey that I'm going to be taking, those are the 3. Now, Nefertiti and the Queen of Sheba were there before the current temple. Dendera has been built temple upon temple, okay, like many ancient sites. And so, however, the land is still the same. The land holds the same sacred codes, and the priestess path has been walked there. Now, to be a priestess of Hathor is truly to be a priestess of the Great Mother. That's what she represents. You know, she's shown one of her representations is a cow. You know, the mother, the nurturer, and so she is so much about love and fertility and joy and childbirth and, you know, all of those beautiful attributes of the feminine, of the Great Mother. An incredible wisdom as well that comes with that. It touches my heart so deeply to speak about Hathor. She's the mother of all life. And so that priestess path was a strong path to walk for those in the mystery schools in Egypt. And of course, people came from all around the world to go to the Egyptian mystery schools because what you learn in Egypt is so much the foundation of actually what is also in many other cultures. So, however, by the time of Mary Magdalene, the temple, most of that temple would have been complete. I have not read anywhere that Magdalene went to the Temple of Dendera. So this just came to me with the other 2. It was like, Magdalene has walked that path. And in fact, there is another Rose Line being who also did, and that's Mother Mary. But she was not part of this journey also. It was just the 3. And so Magdalene also, it was the path of the Mary. Mary is a title. Okay, it is the title. It is the beloved. It is Mary is the wisdom keeper, and so guaranteed that many of the biblical Marys walked this path. So, yes, you won't find that about Magdalene. Well, I haven't found it anywhere, but there's a deep knowing in me that she trained as a priestess here, potentially elsewhere, but this was a part of her Egyptian magic, her Egyptian sacred rites. And so when the three of them came through, they each came through sharing a different aspect, a different priestess path. So Nefertiti, I have always associated as a priestess of sacred sound. And this was my connection with her all those years ago when I was really connecting with the sacred sound priestess path at Dendera. And this sound isn't simply like this sound or sound from the throat or sound made by anything else. This is going back into Atlantean heritage. This is the sound that is a frequency that is often beyond what our outer ears can hear. This is incredibly alchemical sound. This is the sound that is the foundation of all life, the frequency that is the foundation of all life, and how we can harness that frequency in our earthly life. So Nefertiti was undoubtedly a priestess trained in that lineage. So when she put a hand up, she said, I'm going to guide these people through this, remembering what it is to be a priestess of sacred sound. And then, so she would have been the first, if you want to look at it on a time frame of linear time. And then Makeda, the Queen of Sheba. Oh my gosh. Now, when she comes through, so Nefertiti always comes through in my priestess training for the throat chakra. Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, always comes through for the sacral chakra. And this is all about, I mean, you could call it sacred sexuality, but again, it's so much more. What does she call it? The Creatrix alchemy or something like that was the phrase that she'd used for me. And it's harnessing that creatrix energy from the sacral chakra, the womb power, if you like. And so this is what she is guiding in the priestess path that she will take participants through. And she is like full, as I mentioned, sacral chakra energy, full like abundance in her sacral power. She was an amazing leader of the land of Sheba, which is now Ethiopia, and was very much connected in with that Egyptian energy. I think was actually part of Egypt, I think, at some point. And so she was a force in that. And within that was beauty and love. I mean, Solomon wrote the Song of Songs for her to extol her phenomenal womb power, shall we say. And so for her to lead this priestess journey is like, of course, of course. And then Magdalene comes in. And Magdalene, for me, embodies the harmonic resonance, the sacred union within. And in fact, in a few hours, I will be holding my free equinox event, and it will be guided by Magdalene around this, because we are in the time of harmonic resonance, when all the earth is equal light and dark. We are in harmonic resonance, and Magdalene embodies that within. And part of our journey in creating new earth is to embody this within. And this will be very much part of the event, the equinox event. So she is coming in, and the priestess path that she will be guiding through is very much that, but it's therefore the embodiment of the way of love, because when you are in harmonic resonance, you are walking the path of the way of love. And this is the new earth path. This is the 5D path. This is the path of the rose. So they're 3 different priestess paths, all walked at Dendera. All of it was part of the sacred training, the wisdom that was kept within that temple. So I'm sharing this with you because I have now opened the doors for this 3-week journey, which begins on Thursday, the 27th of March. It is going to be an incredibly powerful journey in remembering these priestess paths and in the codes that they will activate within you. I cannot even tell you where that's going to take you. All I know is that as women walking this path right now, remembering our priestess lineage, that these three chakras, I didn't mention too, the Magdalene, very much about the heart. So these three chakras, the throat, the sacral, the heart, bringing these into communion with each other. We're obviously having a bit of energetic clearing going on here from the kookaburras. Bringing this into union with each other is vital in us being able to walk the new earth priestess path, this modern priestess path where we not only show up for our spiritual gifts and sharing our spiritual work and sharing love, but we also chop wood and carry water. This is the priestess path, and it probably always has been, but now we do it out in everyday life. So embodying the frequency of these three chakras at their highest expression is what is going to help us transition fully into walking the priestess path that you came here to walk in this lifetime. So I wanted to give you a little taster for this. I'm going to lead you on a little journey to Dendera. And whether you know what the temple looks like or not, let me see if I can just find a picture of the outside here. I can put it up anyway. Here we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's better than any of my photos. My photos have people in the way. I'm hoping, it's hard, I'm holding it up to my phone camera. If that doesn't show, I'll pop a picture up there. That's a beautiful one. I'm going to take you there. And we are going to meet with these three roseline oracles. And I don't know what will happen after that. Let's see, shall we? Now, as I've mentioned many times through the video, the external sounds of nature that are here, any sounds that come in, receive them as part of this journey. Know that, like the sistrum, they are shifting your energy. They are moving things out of your energy field. They are bringing you into alignment, and they are preparing you for this journey into the temple, this very sacred, short journey that we are going to do now. And just before we go in, if you are interested in walking this journey with me and these three beings, the link is below in the comments. It is going to be powerful. So join at your own risk. And I mean that in an amazing, wonderful way. Okay, let's go in. Let's go and visit Dendera. So closing your eyes and just take a moment to drop into the land that you're on right now. Take your roots into that land. And then imagine one of those roots traveling beneath the earth to Egypt, to just north of Luxor, where the Temple of Dendera is. And it's sitting below that temple. That root is sitting in the land below that temple. All the temples that have existed there. And it's drawing on the frequency of all of those temples. And you draw that through your root and you bring it into your energy body now, and you start to begin the awakening, the remembering of this place. And then take a deep breath into your heart chakra. And feel your heart open and expand. And when you breathe out through your feet chakras and send the essence of your heart chakra down into the ground beneath you and along that route to Dendera. And then take another deep breath in, and this time breathe into your throat chakra. Feel your throat open and expand. And when you breathe out the frequency of your throat through your feet chakras and through the roots and send it out to Dendera. And your next deep breath in goes into your sacral chakra. Breathing in, feel your sacral open, your womb space open. And then when you breathe out the magic of your womb through your roots and send it to the temple at Dendera. And then just go back to your regular breathing. And in front of you now is a rose, a beautiful rose. It's your rose. It's being gifted to you from the temple. So notice the color of that rose. And you reach up into the air and you take that rose. And this rose is going to lead you to the temple. So hold the rose in close. Feel yourself surrender to its frequency. And then imagine that it's taking you down into the earth, through the earth. Perhaps you're following that route. And it's bringing you out at the Temple of Dendera. You're standing in front of the current temple. You can see the columns with the heads of Hathor. You can feel her energy. You feel that you are about to step into the arms of the beautiful mother frequency. You feel your throat, your heart, your sacral chakras come alive. And you notice that one of the petals of your rose drops down. And it encourages you to move forward. It's as though the petals are dropping in front of you. And you keep moving forward, following the petals into the temple. And just as you get to the door, there are 3 beings there to meet you. There is Queen Nefertiti, Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, and Mary Magdalene. Nefertiti has her hands just sitting on her throat, the Queen of Sheba over her sacral, and the Magdalene over her heart. 3 priestess path journeys. And tune into those 3 chakras within yourself. And actually take a petal from your rose and place one in each of those chakras. And this petal is aligning those 3 chakras within you, within their 3 chakras. So for Nefertiti with her throat, Queen of Sheba with her sacral, and Marie Magdalene with her heart. But as you tune into those 3 chakras within you where you have placed the 3 petals, notice which one is pulling you more strongly. Which path is calling to you today? Is it the throat with Nefertiti and sacred sound? Is it the womb space, the sacral, with the Queen of Sheba, with this creatrix alchemy? Is it the heart with Mary Magdalene and the harmonic resonance with the way of love? Once you feel which one is pulling you today, you turn to that being and she beckons you to follow her. And as you're following her, you notice that the petals are dropping from your rose, creating the path that you are walking alongside her. And she is taking you deep into the temple, into the Holy of Holies, the womb space within the temple. And as you follow your guide in there, notice your chakra coming alive. It's like it's coming online. Whichever chakra you've chosen, it's coming online. And then your guide turns to face you. And she takes the rose, the rest of your rose, and she holds it in front of whichever chakra it is. And she is channeling a frequency from Hathor through her being and through this rose and into your chakra. This is an incredibly high frequency, higher than what your chakra has been able to hold so far in this lifetime. But there is also an ancient remembering that this chakra has held this frequency in previous lifetimes. Now, as this transmission happens, there is energy within this chakra that must be transmuted because of stories and beliefs and things that you've held from this lifetime, from other lifetimes, from your ancestral lineage, that cannot sit at this frequency. And so within that chakra at the same time is a rose gold flame. And that rose gold flame is transmuting those old stories so your chakra can hold the memory of this higher frequency, of this priestess frequency. So you have both the transmuting and the transmission occurring simultaneously. And I'm going to also bring through a transmission. So regardless of which being, which roseline being is in front of you, it's the same transmission coming through. And this is a transmission to help you remember Dendera. It's coming through the rose, coming through into the chakra you have chosen. Du dran muea muezo de lepui, humuerta de leno brane kui, harane siti anakarane to, akirane lebue anani osto, apuahana lane amueanda ku, arane opuea adia anyo, akuhane lesto abuite nia, apuaya nedea adea ada, hopwa. Hopwa, hopwa, ada. And now the Roseline Oracle who you are journeying with, is giving you a gift to anchor this in. Now, the gift may be something like a thing, it may be a word, it may be an image, but it's being gifted to you now. So receive what the gift is that she is giving you. And place that in your chakra. That is anchoring in the code, the transmission you received. And now you are being shown a vision. And if you're not someone who gets visions, you might simply have a feeling. But it's of when you walked this path of the priestess at Dendera. And maybe there were many times, but you're being just shown one. Just an image or a quick feeling, just for you to anchor in this remembering. And then your guide places her hand over the chakra, sealing in what you have received. And as she does that, there is a frequency of Hathor that's coming down. I have that vision of like the Holy Spirit, the dove and Mary energy. It's coming in like that, and it's like coming from above, and it's coming through your crown and washing over your whole being. And Hathor is saying, remember who you are. And then your guide takes your hand and leads you back through the temple, following those rose petals that you dropped on your way in. She brings you to the door where you meet up with the two other rose-lined beings. And they stand around you. And they send their transmission from the particular chakra that they were representing into your chakra. This is a final transmission into those three chakras from those three beings. Supporting you to remember. Remember Dendera. And then you farewell them. You leave the temple. And as you come outside the temple and out through the gate, there you see a rose bush filled with the roses, the colour rose that led you here. And that rose bush is like a portal. And you enter that portal, and it takes you back through the roots, through the earth, and brings you back to your body, your current reality. So slowly returning into your body, moving your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes, join me again. I'd love to know your experience. Please share in the comments which chakra you were drawn to begin working on, and any experience that you had with the Temple of Dendera and Hathor and your guide. And so I shared this as a little sampler of what we'll be experiencing in the 3-week journey. We will be doing a 90-minute journey. Well, probably be about an hour journey by the time we allow for our chat and catch up. So a full 60-minute journey with each of those 3 beings. So it will go much deeper than that. But I just wanted to give you a taste and a feel of this incredible temple. So if you'd love to join me, please click the link in the comments below. And I do hope to see you in a few hours' time for my Equinox Harmony event with Mary Magdalene. So now I'm going to go and tune into Mary Magdalene and see what she is bringing through for this event. So hopefully I will see you then. And I would really love you to do this journey, to take this journey with me to Dendera. It will be incredibly powerful and very, very magical. Thanks for joining me. Rose blessings to you.